Why am I adding them to the party? Oh. Definitely don't do that, oh my god. I think we're live, by the way, but yeah. Wait for people to tune in. Right. Good evening everyone and welcome along to the Esports Masters League. We are here of course for Premier. It is Season 2, round number 9 of the Championship as we take in the Portuguese Grand Prix, my favourite Grand Prix of course, at the Portimao circuit. My name is James Hay, going to be taking to the stream as always on a monthly Wednesday night, and joining me in the commentary box, he is back once again, and is Mr. Ivory Mike. Mike, how you doing?
I am looking forward to this one. It's going to be a very interesting race tonight and potentially the championship decider.
Could potentially be the championship decider. We've been working out the permutations before, and basically what needs to happen is IFR need to win with one of their drivers and hope that TTG do not finish 4th with one of their drivers. So, if that is the case, the points advantage I'm going to run through in a second is, of course, 44 points coming into tonight. They need 6 points extra, basically, to outscore. So that's between 1st and 4th position out on track. But to talk you through, of course, what happened last month in Imola, of course, Ender Ricardo, brilliant performance. He's back once again, reserving in for the ERA team. Santana in 2nd, Ron in 3rd. What did that do to the championship standings with an IFR and TTG absolute rubbish performances from them both? Means that IFR, of course, lead the way by 44 points coming into tonight. 265 points on top. TTG in 2nd on 221. TRT in 3rd on 174. They, however, have folded since the last time we were actually live. They folded, I think it was last week. And, of course, we wish TRT well and all of their drivers well in the future endeavours, and I know a few of them have joined CPI in the meantime. F1 in 4th at 170 points. The battle for 4th, though, the battle for 3rd looks really interesting because F1 Friends Cup in 5th on 169. SXT in 6th on 158, then Customs GT in 9th on 104, M-Play GTZ Bulls in 8th on 64, ERA in 9th on 41, N-Play, sorry, we've got 68 points, that's my eyesight going there, ERA in 9th on 41, and SLX, who's a brand new team, of course, have scored 0 points as a result of Imola. But IFR leading the way by 44 points, Mike. TTG are up for this one, and I think they've got the better lineup tonight.
Yeah, they've got to come out and get things going on the right foot, and the lineup they've brought here tonight is very impressive. Obviously, me when it comes to pronouncing names, this is going to be terrible.
It is going to be terrible, definitely. Go on.
Do I attempt it? I think I have to attempt it, don't I? Right. So we got. Jesus. I'm just going to call him TTG Bet.
Patuxai.
Patuxai. There we go. Patuxai and Ares, right? Arrows for TTG. When it comes to pronouncing names, I am terrible. You guys already know this, but yeah, TTG coming with a great lineup tonight, and they need it, and they need a big performance here to keep this championship alive.
Yeah, they really do, to be honest. To run you through the rest of the field so that Mike can spare the blushes of actually pronouncing some of these names. EVG have got Tim and Ahmed in the session. I think Catterson, however, is reserving as one of those drivers. Stinson, Dutch Missile in for IFR. Bjorn, however, reserving for Dutch Missile, so he comes in at the last hour. Aries and Batuxai, as you've already said, Mike Carlsbury was the reserve, but I don't think he's here tonight. Pedro and Nelson for GTZ. SXT represented by Javier and Steph. Very strong lineup, I think, for SXT. Selly and Noah are representing, or supposed to representing VIP, of course, but Enzo is now in, of course. As a result, the ERA man is in. The German, of course, took the win last time out in Imola. FRL represented by Euron and Rotation. Very good lineup, I think, for FRL. Charles and Belandia for CGT. Elliot and Black Panther for RAC. Gas as well is also, that's a brilliant name, by the way. He's also reserving. Castro and Ruben Teve representing FFC, with Santana, of course, being the reserve driver for those. Looking through that lineup, though, Mike, obviously, IFR, Rudy previously raced, of course, in Imola. Stinson now obviously replaces him. Bjorn also in for IFR. I think tonight could be the chance where TTG have got possibly the strongest lineup this whole season so far, and they've got that big advantage because Stinson so far hasn't raced in the ML.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think with IFR, like, tonight's all about consolidating their lead. Try to pick up as many points as possible to make it as difficult as possible for TTG, so it's going to be interesting to see how Stinson and Dutch Missile get on here tonight. But as you said, the TTG lineup looks absolutely immense, and they are not messing around here tonight. I'm very interested to see how that battle for third plays out, because the FRL lineup is looking pretty tasty. F1 Friends Cup is looking pretty tasty, and so is the SXT lineup.
Yeah, SXT lineup definitely looking. I think Javier and Steph possibly one of the strongest lineups we've got actually today here in Portsmouth at the Autodromo International de Algarve. Now, I don't actually have a track map or anything, because my book doesn't have a track map because it's 2022 now, and we obviously got updated. But I can tell it is a brilliant, brilliant track. 16 corners, of course, waiting the drivers out on track at the Autodromo International de Algarve. Portuguese Grand Prix, of course. This is the only time that it's actually going to feature in an F1 game, and it's the only time you're going to see it, of course, at EML this season as well, because it is playing host tonight. CGT apparently haven't got invites so far. Black Panther is also needing an invite, so what I'm going to do, Mike, is I'm going to go blue screen for a second, and they can hear my lovely voice as I maybe talk through everything else as I just go and try and close down the application, and I'll try to end the stream. What am I doing? Invite friends, that's what I'm trying to do. Apologies, everyone. Goodness, we're all over the place tonight so far. But I'm going to send a few invites out, and hopefully they can join. If not, they may have to wait it out, of course, here tonight. But I'm going to try my very best to try and get everyone in. CGT have not got any invites in terms of their two drivers, so I am going to ask Vilchers who the two CGT guys are. So give me a second there. But obviously, Mike coming into tonight. Oh, as I cannot perform a voice chat with Mike now. That is good. That's fantastic. You can only hear my beautiful, lovely voice, and hopefully nothing's going off on my end, which is obviously causing the stream. I'm going to send Black Panther an invite, though, in the meantime. We have got another driver in, which is good to see. We've got another driver in. Belandia and Charles are both in for CGT. I'm going to leave and rejoin the party. Everything is going wrong tonight. I'm going to leave and rejoin the party, and hopefully Mike is there by the time we get back. Oh, no, you're here. You're here. You're back.
Yeah, there was a bit of a moment there where everything was going a little bit laggy, and there was just complete silence. I got a little bit worried. I'm actually trying to make sure I got everything turned off on my end.
But Tuxai said we're only waiting on Black Panther. Both CCT drivers are in. We're only waiting on Black Panther. It is a little bit late, obviously, to invite. And Vilchers apparently is. Oh, have we got Ruben Teve in? Actually, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Ruben Teve is in. CGT have got both their drivers of Belandia and Charles in. Yeah, we're only waiting on Black Panther, I think, to join for RAC, and then we're good to go. I think there's more Wi-Fi troubles, though, possibly on his end, as per, but we might be up for starting very soon indeed. Mike is in the comment section, by the way, saying, can I drive? I'm not sure if he's one of the 20 drivers, of course, that we've got here for each of the teams, but if you do want to join, of course, TTML, we have got the Discord server, of course. You can follow us at TTML_F1 or at EML_F1 on Twitter, and you can keep up to date and everything. The RAC driver, which is Black Panther, apparently is restarting his connection. We've been told to wait 3 minutes, but possibly we might be getting underway. All depends on what Tom says, of course, and Stinson say as a result. But I think maybe wait a couple of more minutes, see if he can join. If he can't join, we've given him a chance, and then obviously we can get going as soon as possible. That's what I think.
Yep, and with all these internet issues everyone seems to be having at the moment, hopefully, fingers crossed, as someone did just leave the lobby on my end.
Oh.
I'm not sure if that happened to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone is red bar.
Yep, don't know who that is. I think it is one of the TTG. No, Ares is there, and Batuksai is there. I thought the TTG guys were leaving, but we have lost another driver. I'm not sure who it is. Bring you up to speed in that in a second. Just seeing if it's any of the CGT guys. It's not. Yeah, answers on the postcard, I think, for that one. Might be one of the VER drivers, possibly, that has left. But, oh, actually, the person has just rejoined. So that is Ahmed that left and has now rejoined. But it looks like we're getting going, and it looks like Black Panther won't be able to join, which is a shame. I mean, we can give him a chance, I guess, but you can only wait so long. We're already 10 minutes late. It always seems like Premier, in recent weeks, has, obviously, started late, and we're starting late again, with 10 minutes behind schedule. I mean, EML League 1's probably finished by now.
Yeah, but hopefully it doesn't take away from the enjoyment. Hopefully they're making us wait for a great race, so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. Of course, at the Autodroma Internacional de Algarve, famous for corners like Primera at turn number 1, Lagos, of course, Torre Vip at turn number 5, and then, of course, the Portimao section, which is neatly come on track here through turn 10, through turn 11, and then in towards the Galp section, which I really like the Galp section, through Sagres, and then in towards Galp at 15 and turns 14 and 15, which of course is the final 2 corners. Those are my favourite 2 corners to ever commentate on. You will see a lot of potential overtaking moves down in towards turn 1 at Primera, but this should be, Mike, a very, very good race. Are we going to see any rain, though?
Well, I mean, in League 2 we got intermediate start to qualifying, but that was about it for the rain. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. It can rain here, and when it does rain here, it makes the racing very exciting, because a lot of very difficult traction zones become even more difficult as we now in the qualifying session.
We are indeed in the qualifying session. 19 drivers in. Black Panther has got an invite, by the way, but I don't believe he'll be able to join the RAC, man. Which is a shame, because RAC, of course, are making their debut here tonight, replacing, of course, TRT. They were the reserve team coming into tonight, and TRT, obviously, one of those teams that has obviously folded in recent weeks. And another, Mike, you might have not heard this news, IFR, after the IFR Esports Cup event, which ends on Friday, which I get to commentate on, they're also folding, so IFR could go out with a potential bang here if they wrap up the EML Championship. There's no need to turn up for the final race, and then they fold straight after the IFR Esports Cup event.
So IFR could do a Nico Rosberg here.
They could. They could do a 2016 Nico Rosberg, Abu Dhabi style, but obviously have to congratulate everyone, I think, from IFR. They've been such worthy adversaries, I think, within EML, within TTML. So many of their drivers, of course, have really been attributed on this channel in League Racing TV, and I have to salute every single person, including Stinson, who's the owner. I've had words with Stinson, obviously, behind the scenes, and Stinson has gutted that he's obviously having to close down the F1 side. They're repurposing, I think, maybe to iRacing or maybe to R Factor 2 on the PC, which makes sense because most of their drivers are now obviously going to PC. And I have to commend every single one of the drivers, of course, and every single member of the IFR team. So if you're watching, and if you're part of the IFR team, well done, because honestly, it's very difficult to run a team, even on F1, and hopefully they might be able to go up with a bang here tonight. Castro, in the meantime, is around the final corner, and he's on the run towards turn number 1, and he's the first man out on track on an actual lap now. 2 minutes gone already in the session. So Castro in towards Primera at turn number 1, misses the apex very neatly indeed, taking my time trial line through there, I think, through turn 2, and then into the right-hander of turn number 3, and then to the left-hander, of course, of turn number 4. We've got a yellow flag that's a spinner already through the first sector. Is that Tim that's round? I think it might be. Ahmed is in the pit lane, so it must be him. As Castro comes down and towards Torrevic, 22.5 in the first sector from Castro, and the FFC man, of course, normally quite slow in qualifying, the FFC drivers, but they make up for it in consistency in the race, and he's on a set of mediums as well. Coming now through turn number 8 to Craig Jones, through Samsung, and then in towards Craig Jones at turn 8, and this is now Craig Jones at turn number 9, I should say. I'm even getting mixed up without a track map here tonight. Coming through turn number 10 at Portsmouth, of course, the village that is actually bordering this circuit. Castro in towards then the left hand of turn 11, through the middle sector, 53.2 through the middle sector. We should be seeing lap times, I would say, in and around the 113 mark, 114, something like that, maybe even a little bit quicker. I don't know really, but Castro coming through in towards Galp at turn 15. This is my favourite corner ever to commentate on, because it is downhill and then an uphill approach right the way to the line. It's known as the roller coaster circuit here in Portimao, and Castro comes to the line 118.7. We're bound to see though, Mike, a lot quicker times than that.
Yeah, and I was just on board with TTG Patuxai, and I think either his controller or his wheel disconnected, because he just went straight on into the wall and has no front wing right now, so hopefully it doesn't impede anyone's lap times. But very strange instant there for Patuxai, as Ahmed has left the session, so connection issues are beginning to occur once again.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, League One had to have a restart because the lobby just literally crashed at everyone. So hopefully there's no bugs within the system tonight. Pedro to the line goes third, 117.1, but it's Bjorn out on top for IFR. Noah there in second for VER or ERA. I'm not sure what the team's actually called, but Noah there in second, and Pedro there in third. But Enzo at the minute, Enzo Ricardo is on a lap. He's in the white Red Bull livery. Of course, you can select the white Red Bull livery on the player cars. And Enzo's coming through the middle sector through in towards turn number 8 and then towards turn 9, and I think he's actually backed off this lap. He has. Enzo has backed off this lap, but the ERA team, of course, running the white Red Bull livery. I've got to say, they ran it last week, and the last month, I should say, and obviously Enzo won, so might be their lucky charm again tonight.
Yep, it might just be that. And of course, Enzo, last time out, absolutely fantastic performance, especially for a debut race. It couldn't have gone off to a better start for him. But we'll see if he can continue that fine form this time around. I'm on board with rotation as he's coming to the end of his lap. It did say it was purple in the middle sector. I don't necessarily believe it, but we'll see now when he crosses the line. It's going to be a 17.4 for rotation.
Yeah, 17.4, not too bad actually. He's 2 tenths off Javier there in 5th. They're all on a set of medium compound tyres from 5th to 8th as well. Both SXT drivers actually, and both FRL drivers in fact, are on that set of medium compound tyre. Of course, they want to keep a fresh set of softs for the race, and that is because they think that the set of softs is actually quicker than the mediums around here. Now, I will tell you, I've commentated around here many, many times in Portimao, the new game, and I can tell you Zares comes to the line with a very, very unrespectful 127.9. He's just preparing up for his lap now, but can tell you medium compound tyres are better than softs. So if you want a little bit of a secret, mediums are better than softs around here, and it's just purely because they've got better pace in the second half of the race.
Yeah, I think that's been evident in most of the races that we've seen on this game. The mediums really do come into their own around this circuit. I am currently on board with Enzo Ricardo as he comes through the final few corners. Looks like it's a pretty decent lap so far. As he crosses the line now, it's going to be a 16.3, pushing on provisional pole.
Considering he was about 0.2 of a second off Bjorn's middle sector, that's a really good lap actually by Enzo. He's out on top the German, Bjorn there in second, Elliot there in third, Noah in fourth, Pedro in fifth, all on the sort of soft compound size currently in the first 5 positions. Then you've got Javier, your own Stefan rotation, of course, filling out 6th to 9th there, all on the set of mediums. Charles there in the top 10 on a set of soft compound tyres. Nelson was on lap, the other GTZ man, but he is going to come into the pit lane because obviously he's invalidated on this lap. Tim, I think, is coming around the final corner and just preparing up for a lap now. You've got something else on the lap?
I was just on board with Ares, who jumped straight up into second place on a set of the mediums.
Oh wow, yeah, Ares second. Good lap by Ares, 16.5. I didn't even spot that, to be honest. Thanks, Spike, for that one. Tim is invalidated coming through turn number 1, but Ares there, second, 16.5. I did say we'll see around the 15s around here, and I think that's probably going to come to absolute fruition here tonight. The owner of IFR, though, is on a lap at the minute, is Stinson. He's got Ahmed just in front of him on an out lap. Hopefully he knows how to get out of the way. In towards Torre Vip, he's right in the way of the car, and he's just broke in front of him. Ahmed has just broken in front of him on an out lap. Stinson might pick up a penalty for that, as Gas has joined. Not sure who he's reserving for here tonight. Is that one of the RAC drivers, I think, that has just joined? I think joining and qualifying is banned, isn't it, in EML?
I think it's if he gets in his car and sets a lap. I'm pretty sure you... I'll have to quickly read up the rules, but... yeah, obviously not ideal there with Ahmed and Stinson. I'm not sure if Ahmed is actually in the lobby. He seems to be ghosting quite a bit.
Seems to be ghosting quite a bit, yeah. It looks... I mean, he's on a 1 bar, and if that is him controlling the car, he has got every amount of responsibility for obviously... Well, I wouldn't say brake testing, but Tuxide goes second, 16.4. Stinson is into the pit lane. Ahmed continues on to a full lap, so we'll see what he can do, of course, there in 17. But Batuxai going second. TTG man there in second, 16.3 from Enzo. From Batuxai in second, 16.4, and then Ares in fifth on a 16.5. But it seems to me, Mike, Ares has got maybe a loss of time to actually gain on that lap. 16.5, I normally think around an 0.8 of a second improvement will suffice. So theoretically, Ares could be mid 115 by the end of the session.
Yeah, and that would be incredibly impressive, and exactly what TTG need from this race. They need to get off on a big start, and Ares there with that lap, and Batuxai up in second at the moment. They're definitely doing what TTG need from them here tonight.
Rotation was not purple in the first sector, but he was up in the first sector by 1/10 of a second, 22.1 through the first sector, exactly where you want to be. Sub 22 through the first sector normally means you're on from maybe a 1:15 sort of lap time around here. But ends out on top of Tuxai, second Ares in third. Rotation is on lap coming through Craig Jones, of course, named after the infamous Australian driver in Formula 1, coming through now turn number 10 at Portsmouth, and then in through turn 11. 51.8, he's purple in the middle sector, is Rotation. Nearly invalidate actually on the exit of turn 12 to the left hander of turn 13. Gas has left the session. There was a spinner coming through turn number 1 as well. I'm not sure if that was Ares spinning on and out that, but Tuxai's in the pit lane, so it must have been Ares, or it was one of the RAC drivers, which might have been Elliot on an out lap, but he's just came across the line, so it must have been Ares. His Rotation now comes around the final corner on the run to the line, and he goes fifth. Not a bad lap, and he's 300th of a second off Bjorn. I'd be quite happy with that lap if I was Rotation.
Yeah, very good lap from Bjorn. I think Ares just getting out of the way of cars on the out lap. I don't think he actually spun. I think he was just getting out of the way of people.
Oh, Bjorn's purple in the middle sector, 51.5, now coming in towards turn 13 and then in towards Sagways at turn 14, and then, of course, Galp at turn 15, Ento out on top, but Tuxai second, Ares in third, was still 7 minutes away from the end of qualifying, and Bjorn is now looking quite quick. Of course, the former LR man back in the days, he now comes through the final corner, on the run to the line. This should be quickest of the session. Bjorn to the line, goes quickest, just about. So if I got that wrong, that would have been my head getting lynched, but Bjorn out on top, Enzo in second, 1/100th of a second separating the front two, and Enzo, I believe, is on a lap and he's purple in the first sector.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Enzo can find... he's lost a car. He's just taken too much curb there and has been sent home.
How's he kept that in a straight line? Brilliant stuff. Your own goal's fourth as well. But Enzo, I have to absolutely applaud him on that, because he kept that throttle fully in, didn't let go of the car, could have easily went into his full spin. He didn't. Well done, Enzo. That was perfect.
Yep, he's definitely been playing several rally games of late. I can assure you of that. I'm on board with Arias right now, who is slightly down in the first sector, so Soft's not really playing a huge part in the first sector, but this is where he's going to gain the time in this middle sector. Let's see what his middle sector split is going to be looking like as he comes up to turns 10 and 11. A lot of curb there.
And he's invalid.
About a tenth yep. He was only about a tenth and a half up, so his medium lap might have been just perfect. He's not gaining the amount on the sauce as he would have hoped.
Yeah, not in the minute. I mean, he's still looking really quick, though, in that middle sector, and he was a tenth up. He was coming up to traffic, though, and I think that's what I was going to mention. I think he probably still would have came into the pit lane because he was getting traffic, quite a lot of it, through that final couple of corners. So, Ares, back into the pit lane, didn't actually improve on that lap. Enzo was invalid on another lap. He's coming through the middle sector, but it's Bjorn out on top, Enzo second, Batuxai in third at this point. It's Batuxai, I think. Did he just set a lap, Batuxai, or is he on one now? I think he's just set one.
No, he just started his lap, but went too deep on the exit of turn 1 and went off track, so he's backed out of the lap altogether.
It's unfortunate, obviously, for Batuxai, but he's out in third. He's only a tenth of a second off the top, but Stinson has improved up to seventh. The Alpha man looking quite quick there. There's other drivers on the lap, I think, as well. Pedro to the line. He goes 10th, behind his teammate, actually. Only 1300ths of a second separating the GTZ boys. I think they'll be quite happy with qualifying so far. And Mike looking, obviously, at the top 12, but covered by just less than 7/10 of a second. So Bjorn out on top, Enzo second, Batuxai in third. We're just covered by less than 6/10 of a second at this point, and Bjorn currently holding sway out in front. But I think that lap time is still going to be beaten.
Yeah, I think everyone, they know there's time there. It's all about stringing it together, and it's who's going to be able to string this lap together. We're seeing plenty of invalidations come out as people are pushing the limits just a bit too far. But who's going to string it together where it counts, as we've got Batuxai about to get himself underway to start a lap once again. So I'm going to stay on board with the TTG man. As he comes into turn 1. Keeps it on track this time.
What a car that spun round when he was coming through there. Was that Ahmed round?
I think Ahmed's as Batuxai is invalidated. I think Ahmed's car is completely glitched.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I've seen him teleport into the pits and back out on track. I've seen him set a lap time of over 5 minutes and nothing has popped up. I think Ahmed's car is completely glitched out of the session.
Yeah, Stinton's put in the Discord, and I like this comment. I am going to repeat it on stream. Are you in the lobby? Your AI is killing people. I think that's what really spins. Its rotation has just gone for a spin and has rotated his car around. Pardon the pun there. He goes 8th, still 16.5, but he rotates around through turn number 7, and luckily he gets the car back going in the right direction. I don't believe he was on the lap when he did that, but Bjorn out on top, Enzo second, Batuxai there in third, and Ahmed, hopefully his AI will stop killing people out on track, because obviously we might have to restart the lobby if that is the case, and obviously if he keeps rejoining, might glitch the lobby for everyone. And it is a common theme obviously around here in Portsmouth. We had it in TTML where we at the beginning of the season where we had to obviously restart when obviously the game the track first came out on the game, and we had to restart multiple lobbies for TTML. So hopefully that is not going to be obviously happening once again tonight. Gas is leaving the session as well, and that really doesn't help things either, with drivers obviously rejoining the session and they're not getting a lap in and qualifying.
Yep, as we have just over 2 minutes to go in the session. Batuxai going once again, so he's determined to get this lap done on these tyres, but he has worn them quite a bit, and I'm not sure if it's probably the wisest to continue on with these tyres.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly so. He's up in the first sector though. It was purple in the first sector from Batuxai. He's coming through now turn 6 and then through turn 7 and 8 out on track. And he has got, I think that's his teammate just ahead of him. Really bad point though to get a little bit of slipstream. Avis just gets out of the way completely. Doesn't want to give him any slipstream up the hill in towards Portimao. Probably could have given him slipstream actually coming around the final couple of corners there. But Batuxai coming through now Portimao at turn 10. 51.2. That's purple in the middle sector. And he's 2 tenths up. And he's got Stinson in front of him as well, who just gets out the way. He should have gave him any arrest. But the IFR man doesn't want to play ball here tonight. And that is the IFR against TTG, of course, in terms of the top step of the standings. Bjorn the Wild on top. Enzo and second, but Batuxai, if he doesn't invalidate through the final corner, he's going to be the quickest lap so far. Could be even a 15. Batuxai runs the line. Oh, just shy. 16.1. Good lap from him. Bjorn was a 10th up in the middle sector, but he's invalid.
Yeah, Bjorn just feeling the pressure a little bit, and then just overstepping the boundaries as Stinson is on a lap now, and can he respond to Batuxai?
Oh, Enzo is all over the place though on this lap, coming through the final couple of corners. He is improving, but he's going to be nowhere near Batuxai, I don't think, with this lap. It could be a 16.2 with a real push, but he has really struggled through this final sector. Enzo on the run to the line. He's currently 30 goals second, I think, with this lap. Just about. And do you know what? 400ths off with a scrappy final sector like that. He could have found 2 tenths per second there quite easily. But Batuxai out on top. Enzo in second, Bjorn in third. And as you mentioned, Mike, Bjorn is now on his lap. Stinson is also on a lap, but I think he's off coming through the first sector, is he? Oh no, he's coming through the middle sector. That's somebody else.
Yeah, he's marginally down on his time at the moment, as RA's is 2 tenths up as well, so this could be a double TTG front row, or will Enzo hold on to that second place? I'm not sure. As to the line comes Stinson, what's he going to do?
Needs to go third ideally here. Doesn't. Go sixth. Goes sixth, but Aris is 2 tenths up and he's in the pits! Aris is in the pits! Ooh. He doesn't want to come in, he wants to start on those set of mediums. So Aris into the pit lane. Going to start on those set of medium compounded tires. I don't think anybody else is on a lap apart from Bjorn. He is on a lap. He's a 10th up through the middle sector. Now coming through Sagres at 14 and then through Galp at 15. This is looking good for Bjorn. Batuxai at the minute goes top. Enzo second, Bjorn in third. But can now Bjorn put IFR on the top step of the podium? No, he doesn't even improve in the end. And I think his time glitched there. He did improve, 16.2. Did improve by 400ths of a second, but didn't actually get a valid lap in. Javier is on a lap as well. But no, he's not. I think that's the end of qualifying.
Yeah, he's invalid, and what we got right now is Ahmed on a endless outlap.
Oh no. I just want to cry at this point. I just want to cry, honestly. But Batuxai out on top, though. Enzo in second, Bjorn in third. Ahmed is typing in the chat, by the way. Stinson mentioning that Ahmed's AI has messed him up 3 times on his lap. He's not in the lobby, is Ahmed. Certainly on our perspective anyways. He's completely desynced. As I say, hopefully that doesn't warrant a restart. I think, to be honest though, we've got to the end of qualifying. Ahmed, yeah, he has got in the way. Most of the time though, he's actually in the pit lane or just completely teleporting out on track. But qualifying will probably stand if we do have a restart. So that means Batuxai's out on top, Enzo in second, Bjorn in third. And do you know what, Mike? Enzo, on that lap, 16.1, in the white Red Bull. If he got a better final sector in, he would have been top. He will be absolutely ruining his luck on that lap because it was such a good lap. It's just the final sector that ended up obviously costing him.
Yeah, I think again, so you'll take some positives away from this qualifying session, knowing how scrappy that last lap was, and knowing how close he was getting pole position. And to be honest, for IFR, Enzo is the biggest helper, I'd say, for this race, because Enzo definitely looks like he's got the pace, and the more points he can take away from TTG, the better it looks for IFR.
Yeah, definitely so. Batuxai out on top, Enzo second, Bjorn and third. We have got Ahmed on this endless outlap. I really hope that it's going to go to 0 here. Really, really hope. It's not, is it? Is it? We've got Aaron. Who's the hell's Aaron Barnes at the bottom?
I think that's because Gas. I think that's because Gas joined the session.
Who on earth's Aaron Barnes? Batuxai out on top, Enzo second, Bjorn and third. We're on an endless run here. And I think we're going to probably have to restart the lobby here.
But I just wanted to say, like, an incredible session from Aaron Barnsley. Absolutely fantastic stuff from him.
You watch, he's going to come out on pit lane and absolutely trump this lap with a 16-second lap or something. But Tuxedo's out on top, though. Ends on second, Bjorn in third. What I'm going to do is actually take a screenshot of the results, just so I can send to Stinson if we have to restart the lobby. We're stuck on this as much as these guys are as well, so we're all in the same boat at the minute. Just the cards that we are dealt, and just comes to show and emphasise, Codemasters, if you're watching, F1 22 has got to be better, surely, in terms of, obviously, I mean, Portimao's not going to be on the game, but surely, in terms of the online lobbies, and in actual terms of the overall multiplayer experience, it's got to be a hell of a lot better than F1 2021, surely.
I mean, it has to be. These kind of bugs and glitches and everything really should have been sorted early on in the game cycle. Not still happening right at the end of it. And see, as you said, I think we will probably end up having to
Yeah, we are. We're going to have I think you just went off there again, Mike.
My controller died.
Your controller died. Oh, terrible. Terrible. Yeah, Stinson's going to send the invites immediately, so if people actually are able to join a new lobby, then we can do. We might have to restart the stream, just as a pre-warning to this as well. I've left the session already, so if people are stuck in that lobby at the minute, leave now. Tune in. You will probably get the best seat in the house here, obviously, for the action out on track. Decent car and a random driver in the lobby. I think not EVG. I think actually is it RAC? Gas, I think, was obviously for RAC. I'll have to double check, obviously. And Catterson was removed last minute, so not sure what is going on in terms of that. But obviously, if there are desyncing issues, remember, you should have read the rules when you actually joined as a team here in EML. If you didn't, read them now, so you can get caught up, obviously, on the final week's racing next month in Abu Dhabi. But obviously, desync issues happening, Mike, once again. It is Portimao at the end of the day. I've seen this happen countless amounts of times. We've had restarts galore on Portimao whenever I've been here. And I think it just comes to show why, as Aaron Barnes, what a driver indeed, definitely in the Discord there. But you put me off completely what I was saying. What I was going to say, yeah, one of the drivers were not submitted for EVG, so for Evora, so that basically means that driver cannot race. Therefore, they're down to one driver, however they like it or not. You can complain in the stream as much as you want. If you submit a driver, obviously, as a driver to obviously fill in, you submit your deadline, you submit your lineup, and that's it. No questions answered, really. It's just unfortunate that obviously these things happened, and these things happen obviously. But yeah, it's just, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't know what to say either. I mean, obviously we're about well, we're hopefully going to be getting invites soon for the new lobby. The one thing that might be a bit of a benefit, obviously, for Patuxai, he did 3 laps on those soft tyres, and he's now going to be starting the race on fresh soft tyres. So he's had a bit of a gain from this restart, and of course with he's on those mediums, will now be on fresh mediums instead of 2-lap on mediums.
Yeah, definitely so. I think, honestly, it gives everyone now that sort of advantage, I think, out on track compared to, obviously, what we would have been having if we got a first-time start there and everyone's starting on older compound tyres. Everyone now starting on this fresh compound tyre. How do you now perceive the race to play out, though, Mike? Because, obviously, we were talking at the start of qualifying there, softs to mediums, probably the strategy that most drivers will tend to go on, but now, with a free tyre, but with, obviously, drivers having to start on the same tyre, they have to start, majority of them on a set of softs. So either ours, though, fresh set of mediums, I'd be getting 20 laps out of them.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big bonus for he's going to be taking those mediums long into the race, and obviously for everyone on the soft tyres, they're going to be looking around and seeing their tyres drop off as those mediums come into play, and Ari's already proven that he's got the pace on those mediums to be up there regardless. So it's going to be interesting. I'm very intrigued by it.
It is going to be really interesting indeed. Of course, when we do get going, you guys have got the best seats in the house. Keep me posted, by the way, in the chat about who you're supporting, of course, here tonight on the YouTube stream. Obviously, I had to have a goal there, I think, because it's just frustration more than anything. We're, what, 9-10 months into the game cycle. The game cycle's pretty much ending, and we've still got issues like this. I mean, come on, Codemasters, if you're watching, please just give us a better game. And obviously, I mean, I read the article from Tom Henderson saying that multiplayer is apparently not going to be improved on the new game. So why would you try and aim a game, obviously with this new F1 hub, when there's no story mode? There's obviously enhancements in terms of career mode, but the multiplayer experience surely is the part and parcel of any sort of game. Even Fortnite, even Rocket League, even other games that you might necessarily play. Among Us, for example, they've got stable lobbies. Why can't F1 have?
I think Codemasters need to call an emergency meeting.
I think they do. Well, I could say something else, but I really don't want to say it because it's too obscene for the stream, so I definitely want to restrain myself, of course, here tonight. Bjorn, by the way, he said he bottled a 16.1 on his lap, so Bjorn there in the comment section saying he bottled a 16.1. It could have been pole position. It wasn't pole position in the end, though, obviously. Stinson, by the way, has said thank you because I've sent him the screenshot as well. As soon as we get in the invites, hopefully we can join first time. And please, if you're watching, get your drivers to send multiple invites to your drivers, of course, to your teammate, and then necessarily we won't have this same problem that we get multiple drivers joining, obviously, causes lobby glitches. It's just not needed, really. It's much easier for us. It's not the first time we've had it mic this season. Probably won't be the last with Abu Dhabi in a month's time.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a fair few issues now over the course of the season. Not just in Premier, but also in the other tiers as well. I mean, I remember France in League 2 again having to be postponed because of the lobby crashing that bad.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get to that point. Hopefully we can actually get a second time start going here. As I say, we haven't received any invites just yet. Stinson is working frantically, I know, behind the scenes. Obviously, I think it's his first time hosting the lobby here in EML, so be patient. Your time will come, obviously, for the invites. We'll probably be going until Christmas, I think, at this rate around here, if we don't get the restart out of this. But you've got the best seats in the house, and hopefully you're enjoying the commentary as well. And of course, if you are, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're new on League Racing TV. And of course, we had to come on YouTube here because League 1 overran in terms of a lobby restart in qualifying. So that is why they ended off in League 1. And I'm not sure, actually, who might have won, but I know there's a lot of chat saying Adakov ran very well and Luke Lira as well. So both LFR drivers in League 1 seem like they excelled out on track.
It's a terrible pun.
It's no pun intended. Excel's not even in League 1, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they are? Oh, that's no pun intended then still. But they absolutely excelled by the looks of what I'm reading, certainly. But yeah, and it looks as if the Relentless boys might have actually wrapped up the championship as well, looking at the standings. Really? Look, that's what Nathan has alluded to by the looks as well. So, I guess they have.
I mean, they had a 2-point lead going into tonight, but...
Well, you'll have to wait tomorrow. When the video gets uploaded tomorrow, you will all have to find out. Of course, I think it'll be premiering around 4 PM UK time, if you can make it there. You might see me as well in the comment section for that one. But while you have got our attention, obviously, we're still waiting for the invites into the lobby, I believe, unless I've received an invite and I haven't heard it. I have received an invite and I haven't heard it. Terrible. Goodness me, we're sitting here, I'm rambling on, and I had an invite about 6 minutes ago. So, clearly, I need to turn on my my hearing aids, to be honest. But, should we join the session now?
I still haven't had an invite.
I'll send you an invite. I'll send you an invite. Oh, the guys are actually getting going, so I'm going to quickly send you an invite here. And it looks like the lobby is now readied up. So we've just been sitting here waiting for an invite, and I have had an invite for 6 minutes and not realised. And my PS4's been so slow. We're now in the lobby though. Mike obviously will join in due course, hopefully before the 20-second countdown goes
I'm joining.
off. You're joining. Hopefully you'll join just in time. I pray that you do, otherwise it might cause a glitch. There we are. You're in and you've joined spectators. We better get going though. I told you you shouldn't you shouldn't be waiting that long. Everyone is in. All 20 drivers are in as well. So hopefully Ahmed, he's restarted his game. Hopefully it's not going to be an Aaron Barnes out on track here tonight. But here at the Autodromo Nacional de Algarve at Portimao, we are now about to get going. And Mike, obviously, as a result of qualifying, Enzo was well up there. I've totally forgot. I need to have a check on my little photo that I have.
This could be another.
Oh no!
Restart from the looks of it. Stinson was saying don't ready up, and Kermit said no one ready up, and I think Stinson was checking the grid, and I wasn't sure if he saved it.
Yeah. I have got. I was going to run through the grid actually in terms of qualifying, but took Sayad on top, Enzo second, Bjorn in third. So if that's the front three, we should be okay with that. But I've got the little screenshot here, so I'll confirm that everyone is in the right position. If no one is in the right position, we're going to have a third restart, unfortunately, and this is why people obviously get very impatient. And if that is the case, that we have to have a third restart, not only are you eating into your time, where you could be having a bit of free time, you're eating into our viewers' time, and you're eating into our time as well. So hopefully you're happy with yourselves if you have readied up, and the grid is wrong.
Yep, I mean, obviously at this point, race was meant to be, qualifying was meant to be getting underway at our past, and it's now 20 past, so 50 minutes, and we haven't even got into the formation lap yet.
Yep, formation lap though is about to begin. I'm just praying that everyone is now in the correct grid positions. If not, and if there's one person out of place, we'll have to wait and see. But looks like Patuxai is out on top, Enzo second, Bjorn in third, Stefan fourth, Jeroen in fifth, Stinson sixth, Elliot seventh, Ares in eighth, Rotation in 9th, Noah in 10th. Top 10 are fine. Nelson, Pedro, Castro, Javier and Charles top 15. They're fine as well. Belandi, Ruben Teve, Ahmed, Tim and good old Aaron Barnes, who is Black Panther now, right down the back of the field. Everyone is fine. That means we don't need a lobby restart. Thank goodness for that. And it looks like as well, Mike, everyone further down the field has qualified on they've started on basically the tyres that they qualified on, obviously being fresh tyres. Ares the only one in the top 10 on a set of mediums.
Yep, and I was just quickly checking the lobby settings just to make sure. Looks like we're all good on that front as well.
Oh god, this is a nightmare, honestly. But there we are. We're gonna have to try and cope with 33 laps of this. But Tuxai out on top though, Enzo alongside him. How do you think the run down to 10-1 is going to happen? Because Enzo was very quick off the line in Imola. Of course, he took the race win there. But Tuxai, though, this is his chance. This is his big opportunity for TTG to obviously get back at IFR, take it into the final round of the championship. Basically, what they need is to score as many points as possible, TTG, and obviously B, as Enzo was just lagged completely. Coming through Sagres at 7:14. Hopefully that's another sign of things to come. But Patuxai out on top, Enzo alongside him. How do you see the run down towards turn 1 progressing?
It all depends on the launch that Patuxai can get. If he can get a good launch, he should be able to hold on to this. But as we saw last time out in Imola, Enzo was very good off the line. And if he has a start similar to that this time round, it's going to be difficult for Patuxai to hold on to that lead into turn 1.
Yep, I'm just confirming with Stinson, by the way, that all is fine in the lobby. We're about to get going, of course, for 33 laps here in Portimao. Mike, I'm going to come straight back across to you. Who's your top 3?
I'm going to go with Enzo for the win, Patuxai second, and I'm going to go with Drone for third.
Interesting. I'm going to go Ares for the win. I think he... Oh, God, I've just nearly gone through my my linen basket. That's alongside me. But yeah, Ares for the win. I'm going to go Batuxai for second. I think it's going to be a TTG 1-2. No bias there at all. And the 5 red lights are now coming out here. And Enzo for third. And the 5 red lights are coming out here for EML Premier. And it's finally Portuguese Grand Prix. And it's lights. And away we go. And Enzo gets such a good start. And Batuxai was going to have to come across alongside him towards someone. But Enzo will lead the way in towards someone at Primera. And Batuxai tries to go all the way around the outside, but he's forced off wide, and now Bjorn's on the inside line of him, in towards turn number 3 at Lagos. Can he try and get the move done? There's a spinner in the background. That's Belandia that is round, but Bjorn as soon he's into second. Batuxai is getting absolutely hounded as well by Steph in the background, and Batuxai tries to fight back out of turn 4, in towards Torre Vip at turn 5. Enzo leads the way by 6/10 of a second. Batuxai dives it down the inside line, but do you know what? Steph is going to have a really good run as Bjorn passes Batuxai off track. Batuxai now, though, back into second. Coming through Samsung at turn 7. Job done for Batuxai. He's through and he's into second position. Really good start that. Bjorn in third, Stefan fourth. Only Belandia, I think, round on the background. Ruben Teve, Ahmed and Black Panther, I think, got caught up in a collision potentially as well. But Enzo leads the way. Already a second. That's exactly what he did in Imola, and that's exactly what he did here in Portugal. And he's absolutely flying away from the field as Stinson is round, coming through the middle sector. And that is one of the IFR drivers, of course, round in the wall. And I think he's got damage as well, just to boot on the right side end plate potentially. So Stinson is round. IFR off to an absolute tragic start.
Yeah, Stinson not the start he was looking for, as he is down 13 places. But I just want to point something out. Tim, an incredible start from him. Up 8 spots, he's up into 11th. What a start from Tim.
Really good. I think there was a collision further down the field, and that was why, obviously, Ruben Teve, Black Panther, all got caught up in that little bit of a collision. They all coming into the pit lane. Certainly Ahmed was caught up in that as well. Hopefully not the AI Ahmed that we've seen so far tonight, but Enzo leads the way. Batuxai in second. Ruben Teve is retired in the pit lane. That's disappointing. I mean, all positions score points, I guess. FFC, the damn one driver, Castro, the only one in now, and he's in 12th position at this moment in time. But on settling down, Enzo leads the way. Batuxai second. Bjorn in third. Stinson, obviously, into the pit lane as well. As a result of damage, he's coming out right at the back of the field in 19th. He's going to pick up a point, but at the minute, advantage TTG with Ares, of course, getting a spot on Elliott off the start as well.
Yeah, advantage TTG, and I don't like that from Ruben Teve, especially considering how close that battle is for third that FCC are involved in, and every point matters, especially at this stage of the season, and you don't really want to retire lap 1 of anything.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I can understand it, to be honest. We've all been in that situation if you've ever been a driver on this game. Totally understand the frustration, but let that frustration channel into something positive out on track, and that's what I think drivers should do, obviously, if they're thinking about retiring out on track, and hopefully we see more of the same. Pedro and Charles are into the pit lane. That is an early pit stop. I don't think there's any damage or they've came into contact or anything. In fact, I think they might have, because there's a front wing change. So Pedro is in, Charles also in, both going for a set of soft compounded tyres, I think. Charles is also in. Has he got front wing damage as well? Yes, they're both in to the pit lane, so clearly had a moment out on track. Enzo, they'll lead the way. Batuxai is all over the back of him, though. Coming down in towards Torre Vip there, now in towards Samsung at turn number 7. Enzo, though, leads the way. Batuxai in second, Bjorn in third. Batuxai now, first time that we've seen him in a situation like this, Mike, in EML, and it looks like he's now beginning to pressurise Enzo, and it looks like, to me, he's certainly got the pace to prove that.
Yeah, and then just like looking to see if the unstableness of Enzo in the final sector that we saw in qualifying is carrying over into the race. It could be a setup issue if that is the case, but Enzo seems pretty smooth at the moment.
Yeah, seems really smooth, and seems smooth in terms of his connection as well. We saw that little bit of a lag on the formation lap. It seems like everything is now kicked back in on his end, and he leads the way, potentially, for 2 wins in a row. Black Panther, by the way, apparently is using his 4G. That is very unpromising, I think, for the RSC man down in 17. So, literally, V19, one of the RSC drivers has said that. On lap 3 is Castro, I think, has gone round. No, sorry, it's Stinson round again. Stinson is round again, coming through turn 7. No damage on the car, but the IFR man, the owner of IFR, struggling early on, and we said it earlier on, Mike, experience is everything in EML, and Stinson, who hasn't raced so far this season, Black Panther's 4G has now kicked him out the session, so hopefully that will desync the rest of the lobby. But Stinson, that experience, or lack of experience, is coming back to bite him hard, and IFR, who needed really good points, 6 points obviously over TTG, Stenson's down in 19th and struggling completely.
Yep, Stinson having an absolute nightmare race at the moment, and TTG, so we got Patuxai pressuring Enzo, and we got Ares sitting comfortably right now as the lead medium runner in P7, and he's keeping with this train up ahead as well, which is brilliant to see.
And his tyres will be coming into play as well. It's normally around 6 or 7 laps into a stint, normally on a set of softs where mediums will tend to be better tyres, but of course softs can last around 10 or 12 or 13 laps, probably in this stint. Enzo getting close down by Patuxai towards turn number 1, not close enough for the lead of the race, and the TTG man, formerly of course of Team Addictos, who were part of EML in the past, and Patuxai is all over the back of Enzo at the minute, and the German I think has got something to answer for here, possibly down in towards Torre Vip. If Patuxai wants to go for the move, it is there for him on the inside line, but I think he's just going to sit and wait in behind, and I think that's probably the right thing to do, because he forces Enzo into a mistake actually on the exit of Torre Vip, and he's still 3/10 on the back of him. Patuxai's got so much more pace, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, I think it's smart from Patuxai as well. ERS is very difficult to gain it back around this track as well, so sitting in behind the car ahead, just letting yourself get towed along with DRS, very good strategy from Patuxai in these early stages.
Black Panther, by the way, his 4G is completely gone. That means Stinson will get an extra position out on track. So that's at least some positive for Stinson there down in 18th. Of course, he'll continue on regardless, I think, of what happens out on track. Obviously, Tim we're on board with there on the back of Nelson. That's getting quite close for 9th position. Noah's also in that battle. But Tuxar, though, at the final corner on the back of Enzo. Coming across the line to start lap 6. I can't believe we're already 6 laps through. It's felt like 10 minutes already. Enzo out on top. Patuxai in second. Bjorn in third. And Patuxai's going to wait in behind and towards Primera, down and towards turn number 1. Bjorn, though, beginning to get under pressure from Steph. We talked about the SXC drivers. Javier, of course, in that set of mediums, getting caught up, I think, in an early instant. He's off the back end of this DRS train. But Steph, very quick driver. We saw it in Imola. Patuxai, though, again on the back of Enzo, there's another spinner, and that is Castro. Yeah, Castro ran through turn number 1 at Primera, so he's caught on the inside curve, I think, and spun. Enzo leading the way, Patuxai in second, but for the first time, Mike, I saw Steph on the back of Bjorn, and it looked like Bjorn, for the first time, was under a bit of pressure, but now Bjorn responds, and he's now pressurising Patuxai all of a sudden.
This is the swings and roundabouts that come with this circuit as momentum shifts back and forth between these drivers as they start to adapt, and right now, I mean, flip a coin who's going to make a move first, that's all I got to say.
Secondare, but by the way, that's a really bad pronunciation. I really apologise for that butchering of your name. Secondaire. I'm trying to put the best French accent on as possible. Black Panther is not desync. He's completely ghosted out the session. He's left the session completely. So, he's not desyncing out on track. He's just completely a ghost out on track. I think, though, we're going to see him move for 6th. Black Panther's now rejoined the session, so I'll check in a second. As Ares on the back of rotation, in towards turn number 1. Job done for Ares. He's into 6th. TTG are coming back big time here. The point swing at the minute, it's not much in terms of Patuxai and Bjorn. Oh, and that is going to hurt really bad because Ares has just picked up a 3-second penalty on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, that is not what he wanted to do there, but obviously he is on the mediums, and as you said, this is a stage where the mediums will start to come into play now, and maybe it'll take an extra lap or 2 because of the lack of qualifying laps on those soft tyres, but the medium should begin now to start to come into their own as Black Panther has once again left the session, so the 4G not working out well for the RAC driver.
As Jack Nichols once said in F1 commentary, or I think it was the F Formula E race from home, you've got to Ethernet or something like that. I can't remember the actual quote. I lined it up so well and I've just ruined it. But Ethernet, everyone. Ethernet. Enzo out on top. Patuxai second. Bjorn in third. But Tuxai's struggling now. He's just made a few mistakes there coming through the final sector. He's still on the back. He's 6 tenths off the back of Enzo. But he made a few mistakes there. Let's Bjorn and let's Steph get into play. And the front four, to me, just seem to be pulling away now from Yaron there in 5th. Yaron's doing a good job for the FRL team. Of course, they're also represented by Rotation. He's there in 7th. FRL are doing a good job. And they need points, obviously, Mike, coming into tonight. 5th and 7th for them. Looking quite good so far.
Yep, looking fantastic so far for the FRL team.
Is he? Steph's going to get the switch back through Tommy Vip. Sorry to cut you off. Goes to the outside line, doesn't get the move done. He's still going to be there for the outside of turn 7. Bjorn is there defending for his life through 7. Now in towards 8, and Steph remains in behind. That was a good battle, though. Bjorn did everything right to defend the position, and he held on for P3. And you can continue on with your point there, Mike.
What I was going to say, yeah, it's looking good for FRL, especially in their battle for 3rd right now. They are looking likely to have a pretty decent advantage going into Abu Dhabi if it stays like this, but Rotation has dropped out of DRS range on Ari's up ahead, so he's going to come under pressure now from Elliot in behind.
Yeah, and I've actually just got on board with Elliot because Rotation is wide coming to the final corner. This is going to be Elliot's chance, I think, the other RAC driver, and I think V19 is going to be very impressed by this potential move from Elliot. He's on the back of Rotation, a much easier name to pronounce than the one in the comment section, that's for sure. But Elliot on the outside line, Rotation I think is going to let him go here to the outside line in towards turn 1, and Rotation backed off enough on the inside line. Elliot had pretty much full car ahead. I don't see much in that at all, to be honest. Rotation, more to blame at that for the position of his car all the way down the straight in towards turn number 1. He got chopped off, basically, and that's all because of his position of the car, because he was all the way to the pit wall, basically, and he doesn't want to be there on the pit wall because, obviously, he is ended up still in P8. Luckily, not to pick up any front wing damage there, because that could have easily ended in a bad position. Elliot, though, had the full car ahead, and to me, all down to the position of Rotation's car, and that's why Elliot's got the move.
Yeah, Rotation really struggling now. He's dropped off Elliot quite substantially as Black Panther's ghost car now being lapped, and Elliot is actually closing in on the top 6, so Elliot's showing some good pace here.
He is showing some good pace. I always thought Black Panther was actually the better driver out of the RSC drivers. I really haven't commentated on the RSC boys before, but I know Black Panther has been in one of the leagues that I've commentated on before, and Black Panther is normally a good driver in terms of his pace, and that's, of course, if you can get his connection working. He's down there in 19th, of course, still ghosted out of the session, but the battle for the lead still rages on. Lap 10 out of 33 here in Portimao. Enter leads the way for Tuxai, second Bjorn and third. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, and that is Rotation round. Rotation is round through turn number 1. The FRL man is round, and we were saying, Mike, earlier on, about, what, 5 minutes ago now, FRL were doing a good job. They're not now.
Well, no, now they are, as it currently stands, they are dropping points to SXT, and they only had a 12-point advantage over SXT coming into tonight, so Rotation, if he continues to struggle like this, he's going to be dropping more points, and that's not what they need in their battle for 3rd in the championship.
Nelson on the back of Noah in the meantime seems to be an interesting battle, of course. Noah there in P8 in the white Red Bull livery. GTZ, of course, with Nelson in behind. The Brazilian doing a good job, of course. 2 Brazilians, of course, dominated pretty much at the top end of the field in League 1. And that was, of course, the LFR team. And LFR have been signing a few drivers, actually, that are in another league that I commentate on. And they seem to be going the right place, actually, LFR. But GTZ also, Brazilian team, also going places, and also going, I think, up into P8 here, coming out the final quarter, as Nelson is right on the back of Noah. Surely this is going to be an easy move. He's got D-rating issues down the straight as Nelson, but he's enough ahead to go into the inside line, into turn 1, and Nelson is through and he's into 8th position. Nice move there by the GTZ man. Noah didn't really want to defend that, though, to be honest.
I think Noah realising that the battle is lost, but the war is not over between him and Nelson for P8. So he'll just sit in behind and wait for his opportunity to come back at him. And of course, right now is that point where the mediums are the better tyre. So we may see Nelson get away, but that's not what he needs, picking himself up a 3-second time penalty now.
Yeah, seem to be commentators cursing everyone, I think, in terms of 3-second penalties out on track so far tonight. It was Stinson, then Ares, then Nelson. So we've had 3 commentators curses. But Tuxai, though, right on the back of Enzo. Enzo had a really bad slide coming out of 13. Now through Sagres at turn 14, and then in towards Galp at turn 15. This looks more on than ever, and Batuxai is right on the back of Enzo. But he takes the outside line, and Enzo, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in the pits. Batuxai, though, jukes him. He's in the pit lane. Batuxai is in. Jeroen continues on. Ares obviously continues on. He's on a set of mediums and he chases down Jeroen for second. Elliot now stays out as well, but Batuxai, Bjorn and Steph, second, third and fourth, all into the pit lane. And Batuxai is completely outdone Enzo there. He was right on the back of him, used his slipstream to good effect. I thought he was on the outside line just to purely not go for the moving towards turn 1. But Batuxai, into the pit lane. Is he going to be out and clear out though? Yes, easily, because that is an AI car coming through of Black Panther. Black Panther has just joined the session, so if he actually takes control of his car, Batuxai's going to get a berth of free ERS here if he remains in behind, but he won't.
Yeah, unfortunately for Batuxai, not able to pick up that DRS there from the ghosted Black Panther, but he is on those fresh mediums now, so let's see how strong this undercut is, and Enzo has to respond to it.
Has to respond. All the timings, by the way, glitched on the left-hand side, so apologies about that. Ahmed, by the way, is on the back of Charles in towards turn number 1. The real Ahmed, not the Aaron Barnes Ahmed earlier on, but Ahmed there in 17th on the back of Charles. The interval timings will fix themselves as they come across the line, that is guaranteed. But Enzo leads the way. Should he's going to come in the pits? Yes, he's in the pit lane now. Jeroen is also in. I wouldn't be surprised if Elliot falls in as well. Yep, they're all coming into the pit lane. Noah possibly going to come in the pit lane, or is he going to continue on? No, he continues on, actually, Noah. This is going to be for the battle for second and third. Ares, though, now in the lead of this race. He's trying to get that overcut strategy working. Overcut is normally better than undercut, and do you know what? There's a bit of a hold-up in the pit lane, because that was... who was that coming out of the pit lane? That was Enzo coming out, and Jeroen has just been held up in the pit lane royally by Enzo, and Enzo is going to be... well, wow! Enzo's going to be well ahead of Batuxai. How's he done that?
I mean, you were right, the overcut definitely appeared to be a little bit better there as Enzo extending his gap a little bit more, but he will have cold tyres, so he needs to get some heat into them ASAP as Batuxai is going to be looking to close back onto the back of Enzo, but yep, I'm very interesting.
I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. Enzo leads the way. The gap was 0.3 per second coming out the final corner. The gap is now a second. How's that? How does that work out? Has Enzo just had a really good inlap there? Or has Batuxai just purely not had a really good outlap? Or is it a combination of both? Because now Batuxai is up to speed. He's absolutely all over the back of Enzo once again.
And you mentioned about, I presume it was Jeroen that got held up in the pits slightly?
Yeah.
He's under pressure now from Elliot, and think how far back Elliot was from these guys earlier.
Yeah, Enzo there. Actually, Noah's going to go for the move on Nelson towards turn number 1. Job done there. Nelson, I think, is going to try and fight back, actually, in towards turn 3. Doesn't get the move done. Batuxai, though, responds fast to stop the race. What I was going to say, yeah, Jeroen has obviously got ahead of Elliot, but to what expense is his tyres going to be at? Because he got held up in the pit lane. He got held up a good 5 seconds. That obviously accounts for the loss in time. Compared to, obviously, Enzo, and because these are multiplayer cars, and because these are player cars only, they're not sharing the same teammates. So, think of TTG. TTG, say, for example, Ares, could be teamed up with somebody who he's yet to put in, say, Javier, for example, and that is going to cost him a hell of a lot of time. Not more so, obviously, than Ares, but Javier is going to cost a lot more time if that is the case, because, remember, player cars, you don't have the same teammates.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important when you're in qualifying to look at who's sharing that pit garage with you, to keep an eye out for it, and then you can kind of work around that in the race. If you're close to that car on track, you can play it how you would in a normal 50% race without the player cars. But yep.
Just part and parcel, really. I thought you were going to say a bit more there. That's why I wasn't coming on. But Iris leads the way. Nelson in second, Yavi in third. Patuxai again on the back of Enzo. If you were in Patuxai's shoes, Mike, what would you do at this point? Would you hold him behind Enzo, wait until the final couple of laps of the race, as he goes very late on the brakes towards turn 3, nearly hit the back of him? But what would you do? Would you wait him behind and force Enzo into a mistake, or would you go for the move and try and chop and change positions and try and pull out of a second slipstream?
I mean, for Patuxai, I would probably just try and stay behind, because naturally, if Enzo doesn't use his ERS, he's naturally going to be dropping time to Patuxai anyway on the main straight, so it could lead to an overtake anyway, as Tim, I believe, just had a spin and got out of the way of the cars, so they're fighting for the lead. But yeah, Enzo needs to use his ERS, which will give the advantage to Patuxai, but all Patuxai has to do is just sit in behind and wait for the opportunity.
He has, and I mean, Spaniard, I think, has been very, very coy to actually his performance so far. He's doing really good, but Enzo, his tyres are a lap fresher. They're going to be 4 or 5% fresher come the end of the race. It's all dependent, though, on the driving styles of the front two. If Patuxai's got a better driving style than Enzo, he can save his tyres. He's going to be getting to the end, no problem at all. If Enzo, though, goes too hard too early, he potentially is going to lose as a spinner.
And that's a virtual safety car. Steph almost went straight into the back of Bjorn there, into the braking of turn 3.
What's the VSC, though, for?
Pedro
was off, that's right. Pedro was off, coming through turn 10 at Portimao, no filming on the car, and I mean, that's off in the gravel and that deploys a VSC. Don't get the coding on this game sometimes, but there we are.
Sometimes it's an interesting one, but virtual safety car is out. Hopefully everyone can keep it in the green in terms of the delta time. It's very easy to dip into the red around here, so hopefully everyone is very wary of it. We don't want to see any drive-throughs happen as we wait for the virtual safety car to pass us.
Probably end when Pedro comes into the pit lane, I would think. They're coming, I'm on board with Patuxai on the back of Enzo, and Enzo's still going around 40% speed, and there we are, DRS is now enabled, so Pedro came into the pit lane, exactly on cue, and now everyone can speed back up again to full racing speed. It's lap 17 out of 33, so the first VSC of the race, as Pedro's retired in the session. I think he's retired actually in this pit box, which is quite good. But on the run down towards turn 1, Primera, Enzo still holding that lead, and actually he makes a mistake, coming out of turn number 1, and Patuxai now is right on the back of him, underneath, and actually Steph forces the move on Bjorn and behind. Where's this safety car restart come from? Well, the VSC start, I should say. Patuxai right on the back of Enzo, but here comes Steph on the back of Bjorn to the outside line and towards Toro Vip. Is he going to think about the move? He has to take avoiding action because he was closing up Patuxai so quickly. He still could turn that into a positive, though. He has to surely weigh in behind. He does. And Steph, if he didn't take avoiding action there, he would have been straight into the back of Patuxai. That would have ended up a lot worse. Enzo holds the net lead of the race. Patuxai is net second. Bjorn in net third. Steph potentially could have been net third. But I think he did the right thing there. Take avoiding action and not risk any penalties.
Yeah, Steph. As Bjorn there gets a little bit of a back end snap on the curb through turn on the exit of turn 11. That could put him under pressure now from Steph. But Steph taking it very slow through turn 14.
I think Patuxai's going to go for the move here on Enzo. He's close enough, 3.5 tenths behind. Is this the move for the Spaniard for the net race lead? He's on the back, he's not using up any US, and I think he's going to wait him behind. Actually, yes, he is. He's going to wait him behind. I thought he was going to go for the move. He's so quick down the straight, though. It is quite deceiving because Patuxai is so quick, he basically can try and obviously pull off the move whenever he feels like it. But again, it comes back to that, what would you do at this point if you were Patuxai? Would you go for the race lead, basically the net race lead out on track? Enzo's been already made a mistake. Why wouldn't you? You've got Bjorn and Steph possibly going to fight again next lap round. Patuxai surely is going to take an advantage now. So obviously go for Enzo and leave Bjorn and Stefan behind. I
mean, for Patuxai, it just... a little bit too soon, I think, for him to think about it. As all he's got to do is just pressure Enzo into a mistake. We're seeing that Enzo is capable of making a mistake, and we'll see, he's managed to get away with it so far, but that's mainly down to Portuguese just wanted to sit in behind and wait for the opportunity. But for Portuguese, I'm guessing he just doesn't want to give Enzo that DRS and help him regain ERS.
Steph, though, on the other hand, he's coming down the straight. He was right on the back, actually, of as Portuguese, I think, is desyncing, is he? Yeah, Portuguese is desyncing down the straight. He's lacking quite a lot coming through turn number 1, certainly on my end, anyways. And Portuguese, Portuguese might be disconnecting from the session here. Bjorn on the inside line gets the job done. Portuguese completely desynced now out on track, and Bjorn goes around the outside of turn 4, and Portuguese is now all of a sudden down in a net 4th position. More twists, turns, trials and tribulations here in Portimao. Enzo now leads the way by 7/10 of a second in the net lead over Bjorn, but Tuxai, not sure what happened there. Is his connection back to normal? I think it might be. Steph, though, is 6th, but Tuxai is now 7th, and Tuxai has lost 2 positions because of his connection. That's a really strange one.
He's losing time to Tim as well.
He is losing time to Tim. Has he disconnected from the session and doing an Ahmed again? I really hope it isn't. Oh, Stinson! Sorry to cut you off, Mike. Stinson down the inside line in toward Torrevip. Tries to get the move done. It's a good battle, this, actually, between him and Castro. Stinson obviously staying out on those one set of mediums. Castro's trying to go all the way around the outside of turn number 7. The FFC man tries to now go all the way around the outside of turn 8. Gets the switch back through turn 8. And now they're going to be possibly side by side up the hill in towards Craig Jones and Portimao at turn 9 and 10. But Stinson just about holds them off and actually gets that move done. He's through and he's into 13th.
Yeah, good work from Stinson so far as we're on lap 20 of 33. Looks like Pataksai is back to normal now as he begins to pull away from Tim once again. Very strange occurrence here for Pataksai, and Steph has dropped out of DRS range of Bjorn, so this is good for Pataksai. He can get the move done on Steph, who doesn't have much in terms of ERS to fight back with, but for Tuxai, I think that's a cause for concern if that was internet issues.
And do you know what? I think Ares is going to come in the pit lane this lap around. He is! Into the pit lane comes Ares. This is crucial for the TTG man. This is crucial for TTG's chances of actually getting back, as actually there's a crash out on track. Is that Balandia, I think, round coming through turn number 2? It is. Balandia is round coming through turn number 2. He lost it on the exit, but Ares is into the pit lane. Set of softs. Where is he going to come out? The overcut now is absolutely crucial to this. Enzo is going to come through. Bjorn is going to come through. In fact, I think they're all going to come through. And I think Ares is going to come into behind your own here, because there is your own in front. There's the run down and towards turn number 1, and I think he's coming out ahead. Just in this gap. Ares is ahead as Patuxai is right on the back of Steph, but Ares is ahead of your own. Absolutely crucial. He's got clear air in front of him. He's got medium runners obviously in behind. More necessarily, Elliot's on the back of this as well. I thought it was Black Panther. It's not. It's Elliot on the back of this, and Ares now is going to try and drag these guys along, but to what I expect, because Ares now, I know he's got a 3-second penalty, he's going to be so much quicker than everyone else. This is race on for TTG, and this is TTG's big advantage now for possibly winning here in Portimao.
Yeah, the question is, can Ares use those soft tyres to not only close up to the guys ahead, but get the moves done on them? It would have been a bit easier if Pataksai didn't have that strange issue that happened to him, as he could potentially now begin to battle Enzo and slow up these top guys to bring Ares into the fight a bit quicker. But looking at the penalties, he actually has 6 seconds, not 3 seconds, so that's going to make life very difficult for the TTG driver.
Yeah, he must have picked up another penalty, obviously, somewhere else, but Ares has got 6 seconds worth of penalties. Not only that, He's got soft compounded tyres. Not only that, Patuxai's going for the move on Steph down the inside and towards turn 1. Beautiful move by Patuxai. And Steph is going to try and fight him back in towards turn 3. But Patuxai still needs into 3rd. He absolutely needed that. Noziek, by the way, in the comment section is saying it's going to be difficult for Ares. I totally agree with that sentiment because he is going to struggle so much. Not only because of those set of soft compounded tyres, which only come on around a second a lap initially. The medium compounded tyres, obviously, you've got Patuxai in front, Steph in front of you as well, 3rd and 4th. Ares is going to be quicker in the middle sector, but he's got no DRS. And speaking of DRS, Nelson just dives it down the inside line of rotation, parks it on the apex, the Brazilian, and just about holds him off of rotation. There was no gap for rotation to go down there.
You mentioned DRS. Ares already within DRS.
Wow. Steph. How'd you call that up? It was a second and a half, just, what, 4 or 5 corners to go. Purple middle sector, Ares is flying all of a sudden, but the big question is, A, can he get past Steph and Patuxai? If he gets past Steph this lap around, it's easy, because Patuxai can let him through, but he's got to then gain on the back of Bjorn and Enzo, and that's going to be a whole different thing.
Yeah, and for Patuxai as well, obviously, with that little battle with Steph, it's meant that he is well out of DRS range now of Bjorn and Enzo, so he's just going to hemorrhage time on the DRS streak, so he kind of needs Ares to kind of get ahead, to kind of tow him along.
And to remind you, of course, of the standings coming into tonight, IFO on 265 points, TTG on 221 points. Ares, though, is going to try and gain more points for TTG. Pulls to the inside line towards Torrevip, doesn't think about it. Going for the move, possibly on the exit of the corner, in through turn 7, potentially. But just how quickly he's closed on the back of Steph and how quick he's pulled away from Jeroen and Elliott. But he's now caught up in this little bit of a train with Steph in front of him. Ares needs to get this move done now. I mean, now. Otherwise, his tyres are not going to last. He's going to be in a DRS deficit, basically, out on track. Patuxai can drag him along, but to what expense? Because Patuxai, all of a sudden, as Nelson's going to get the move done, I think. Oh, it's actually Ares sends it down the inside line. Nearly got the job done, but if Ares has to go for the move, he's probably listening to me on the stream, he has to go for the move now. I'd wait until the straight, try and get the move in towards turn 1, and coming through, he's taking the thin line, he's taking the very thin line at the final corner, but it loses him time. And now on the run towards turn number 1, I don't think he's close enough, because look at the ERS, he's got nothing left down the straight, and Steph's pulling away.
Neither of them have anything left. They were both on 0 as Elliot gets the move done on Jerome for P6, so they're going there for the RAC driver as Ares is literally pushing Steph through the corners.
This is it. This will be the move. He has to go to the inside line here. It's going to be late on the brakes. Dummies him to the inside line. Ares, you could have seen that coming from a mile back. Steph on the outside line tries to get the job done, but Ares is through and he's into 4th. That was beautifully timed. Really, really nicely done as well. Ares through and he's into 4th. He needed that move. That now sets him up for the rest of the race. Patuxai there in 3rd can now get out of the way. He's got 2 seconds basically to Bjorn and Enzo. Yes, he's got a lot taken out of those tyres, but Ares in 4th, Steph in 5th, needed that move. That's absolutely crucial for TTG's advances. Stinson, by the way, still going to come in the pit lane before the end of this race, so perhaps he's going to fall, I would say, to 15th position. Bjorn there in 2nd may remain as he is. At this moment in time, IFR are not picking up enough points with a TTG 3rd and 4th at this stage, but it all depends on, A, if Ares can get those penalties removed first and foremost, and B, obviously, how much progress he can make through the field. And I would not be surprised, Mike, if he gets onto the back of Bjorn and Enzo and he just stays there as Patuxai lets off the throttle. There is P3 for Ares.
Yeah, and obviously now for Ares, because he has those 6 seconds, the best thing you can do is tow Patuxai up to the likes of Bjorn and Enzo. So it'll be interesting to see how the TTG pair now work together to bring themselves closer to the top 2 as soft tyres working a treat for Ares.
I'm watching them both with rotation and Noah, that's why I'm going, oh god, because there's an AI in this battle as well. Black Panther is in human mode. He's in ghost mode at the minute. Enzo was spun! Enzo was spun from the lead of the race through turn 8. What happened there?
I believe he's just lost it on the exit of turn 8. The pressure, I think, finally got to him. I didn't see any contact between him and Bjorn, but the pressure got to him, I think.
Pressure got to him. Bjorn was on the back of him. and it was only, I think, 8/10 of a gap. I think there might have been a mistake coming out of turn 8. He's got too much on the curb. He spun the car around. I think that's what he's done there, potentially. So Ares now into second. Patuxai now into third. Your own, by the way, is going to have a battle, I think, with Enzo down the straight here. The FRL man has got plenty of ERS to use up. Tries to use up the good effect, but to what use? Because Enzo pulls away, and in fact, he's going to get the move done on Elliott down in towards turn 1. Beautiful opportunistic move by Enzo, through in his interface, not letting that go back on him. Elliott, though, the Frenchman, is going to be right on the back of this, and the RAC man doesn't need a towing service at the minute, but Elliott in 6th position on the back of Enzo. He looks actually really quick, Elliott, and he's done such a good job tonight.
Yeah, he has done a fantastic job, and right now, Bjorn, he's looking in his mirrors. He sees Ares fast approaching. He sees Patuxai being dragged along as well. Are we going to see TTG teamwork at its finest here?
Yes. Yeah, I think Patuxai, because he's on the same strategy as Bjorn, Ares will be sacrificed, I think, now for Patuxai, because they're in DRS range. Ares has got to work to a team game here. He's not going to risk this for the race win. His race win will not come because he can pull ahead of Bjorn as much as he likes. He's not going to gain 6 seconds before the end of the race, just purely because of his tyres. And that means now Patuxai, as Noziek has pointed out, Ares could help Patuxai. Totally agree. I think this is now all set up for Patuxai to potentially win this race. But Patuxai not only has to save his ERS, he has to save his tyres as well, and that is going to be a different thing.
Yeah, and now Ares all over the back of Bjorn, and the question is, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when does Ares go for a move and start hold up Bjorn and try to get Patuxai on track position here, because they gotta be careful because Steph is there as well, who could potentially throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, there's a good battle going on, by the way, for 9th, 10th and 11th further down the field as well. Just cut off ball with something other than the race lead at this moment. And it is Noah, Yavier and Rotation. Rotation got passed by Yavier down towards turn 1, so Yavier threw and he's into 10th. We said SXT necessarily had one of the strongest lineups coming into tonight. Steph has proved that. He's in 4th. Yavier, though, on a completely different strategy, seems to be getting those softs working. Compared to the others, like Nelson, for example, who's in no man's land, he's not getting the soft compound tyres working necessarily, but we're going to go back on board with the battle for the lead, because here comes Ares on the back of Bjorn. This should be easy. The former LR man, now, of course, the IFR man has been overtaken by Ares in towards turn 1, and Ares now, what would he do in this scenario? Does he now pull away and try and get those 6 seconds, or does he now back Bjorn up into Patuxai, and Patuxai gets the move done next time around, and then it's a TTG 1-2?
I think he's got to back Bjorn that, because now Steph has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which means at the moment Ares, I think he can pull enough of a gap on Steph potentially, but he's got to back Bjorn that.
Yavier, by the way, has just outdone Noah from complete and utter chips coming around turn 3 there. Beautiful move by Yavier. He's through on the outside line out of turn 3 on Noah. Yes, he's got fresh soft, but that was absolutely classic from Yavier. Good move that. He's through, he's into 9th. Bjorn has now picked up a 3-second penalty, and all Ares now needs 3 seconds. He's surely got to pull away now, because I think he can gain 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do now. Steph has a 3-second, Bjorn has a 3-second, but Tuxai, all he needs to do is not pick up a penalty. Ares just needs to put his foot to the floor now and go.
Ares now, he needs to pull out 3 seconds on Bjorn, but ideally, as there's another yellow flag out on track, I think that's Tim round once again, coming through turn number 12. But Ares there, leading the way. He's got to now put the throttle completely to the floor, but I think he needs to gain 3 seconds over Steph rather than Bjorn, because if Ares obviously drops 3 seconds, he's not going to be on the podium to Steph. I think he needs to gain 3 seconds on Steph. Patuxai is there, with not any penalties at all. At this moment in time, still with 5 laps to go, he could still pick up a penalty. But Patuxai is there in 3rd, not picking up any penalties so far. Patuxai is going to win this race, no matter how you look at it. Ares potentially could get 2nd if he's 3 seconds out of Steph.
The question is, does he have enough in those soft tyres to pull that gap? I'm looking at it, he's not breaking away at DRS range. Bjorn is doing enough to stick with him.
And I'm going to frantically go through the point system here as well, work out every single permutation there is out there. Stinson, by the way, is 16th position for IFR. If you're following IFR at the minute, Stinson down in 16th position. That is not good for IFR's chances going into Abu Dhabi next week. TTG currently hold first and third. That will be 45 points going their way. Bjorn and Stinson, at this moment in time, will be picking up 27 points. As it stands, with no penalties coming into play, that will how it be. So, in my calculations, Mike, I think TTG are gaining by around 17 or 18 points at this moment in time. And the gap was 24 points. It's only going to be 6 or 7 points in it if it stays as it is.
Yep, I'm also looking at the penalty situation. Stinson, he's got 12 seconds of time penalties, and he has to pull that gap on Ahmed, so he could drop an extra point there.
Perhaps. He's going to look for the move, as Tim, by the way, is going to look for the move on Castro. This is halfway down the straight now as we run on board. Something other than the battle for the lead, which I think we've followed throughout this race. Tim through and he's into 12th position. Hasn't been his race at all, Tim, here tonight. Obviously, SLX debuting tonight as well. Stinson, in the meantime, on the back of Charles. And this is what I was going to come on to, because Stinson needs to get Charles for this position. Now, add an extra point to the gap. So it's around 16, 17 points now, the gap between IFR and TTG in terms of advantage, TTG tonight. But now Bjorn, I think, realises that he has to now put the pedal to the metal. But, Mike, with 3 laps to go, are they potentially going to catch that battle for 14th, 15th, 16th? And then Ares, Bjorn, Patuxai, Steph all get DRS off that train?
It is going to be potential. Right now I got the gap to leader up, as I believe that is rotation around again. I got the gap to leader up right now instead of the interval gaps, because I want to see if Steph drops out that 3-second window, because that's the one that Ares wants to try and pull.
Kermit, by the way, has said if Black Panther is in the lobby. Yes, there he is. He's down the straight. He is not going in human mode. Or he is in human mode, I should say. He's just lagging about slightly. There is a yellow flag, and that is Nelson round coming through. So Javier gets promoted up the position. That's crucial for SXT in their chase, obviously, for points. Ares, though, leading the way. Bjorn in second. Patuxai in third. Steph in fourth. We'll get the gap to leader. It's 2.2 seconds between Ares and Steph. Potentially, that could go out to 3 seconds in the final 2 laps of this race. There's another yellow flag out on track. I think that's Black Panther possibly spinning round at the final couple of corners there. But Ares leads the way. Bjorn in second. Patuxai in third at this point. Ares now getting hounded. Bjorn basically needs to try and win this and gap 3 seconds to Patuxai. At this moment, Mike, I wouldn't put it past him, because if Bjorn now puts Ares into a bit of full censored, Ares can then potentially use Patuxai to come back at him. So it all depends on these final 2 laps. Ares leads the way, Bjorn in second, Patuxai in third. The closing stages of Portimao here, live and exclusive on League Racing TV.
Yeah, and for Ares right now, I think for him, the best thing that he can do is try and back Bjorn into Patuxai and into Steph as well. That seems to be like the only way that Ares can pick up a podium position here. He has done a very good middle sector, and he's broken DRS range.
He has broken DRS, but he needs to keep this up coming through Sagres, and the DRS detection zone, of course, is on the exit of turn 15. So Ares is now going to put this throttle through the floor. He's pulled 2.5 seconds to Steph as well. This is looking increasingly likely this could be done. Ares round the final corner. He's broken DRS to Bjorn. That's exactly what he needed. Bjorn is using up the sole amount of his ERS. Enzo and Elliott, by the way, are fighting through the final corner, coming through Galp, and the RSC man and the ERA man are going to go side by side down the straight, and I think the Frenchman is going to get him, and actually Enzo picks up DRS as well off the AI, and then I think Ahmed involved in that. Ares though pulling out the gap. Bjorn in second, Patuxai in third, Enzo in fourth. Enzo right on the back of Elliott though, into 5th position. Tries to go down the inside line, doesn't get the move done. There was penalties being picked up there. Was that Bjorn picking up a penalty there? I'm sure I saw a penalty for Bjorn. No, he's got 3 seconds, it's fine.
2.5 seconds is the gap between Steph and Ares right now.
He's got to pull out 0.3 of a second in this final sector, basically. It's 2.8. Steph's made a mistake, I think. Steph has made a slight mistake coming out of turn 8 there with Craig Jones, but Ares leads the way. 1.5 seconds over Bjorn. Gapping to 3 seconds as Steph. I think I might be near enough right in terms of my prediction of getting 3 seconds to Steph. He could potentially pick up a podium here, Ares. Coming around the final corner, the German has looked imperious here tonight. He looks, though, to try and get 3 seconds. There's the gap. It's 3 seconds. It's going to be borderline 3 seconds to the line. Ares, though, out the final corner, needs to take as thin line as possible. He's not going to do it, I don't think. Ares to the line wins in Portugal. But Tuxai will win. And in the end, Ares only misses out by 0.2 of a second in the end, and that 0.2 of a second cost him in the end. Elliot, by the way, is 5th. Good race from the RSE man in 5th. Enzo there in 6th. Jeroen in 7th. There's a Red Bull spun around the final corner. I think that might have been Enzo. Javier, though, across the line in 8th. Noah getting hounded by Nelson all the way to the line as well. Nelson had more penalties, and he finishes in 10th compared to Noah in 9th. Rotation there in 11th, and actually gains ahead of Nelson, so rotation is 10th. In the end, he had no penalties on the car. Nelson in 11th. We've got Ahmed, by the way, across the line. Black Panther is going around there, still in human mode. Just to repeat, he's still in human mode. He's still there in 18th position. So he is obviously going to be picking up points for his team. Ahmed also finished under his own accord as well. So he finished in 17th. Tim, by the way, in 12th. Castro in the end will finish in 13th. Stinson potentially is going to be 14th here. He's got less penalties than Belandia, but Charles is going to gain ahead. So yeah, Stinson's going to be 15th. Absolute disaster for the IFR man. 14th position. Belandia and Charles will finish 14th and 16th, I think. Yeah, Charles ahead of Stinson. Belandia there in 16th. Great racing in the end. Second air in the comment section. V19 is very, very happy with this result. He is for a long time, and he will get his little points. He did get his little points, Black Panther indeed. And Tim picks up driver of the day, ordered by the in-game fans. Of course, after that start, maybe so. But Ares took the win out on track. Didn't get the win because it's his teammate Batuxai who takes the win, and we're going to have to get the point system up because I think it's going to be going down to the final race of the season between IFR and TTG.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it will go to that final round, and just looking at the point total as it currently stands, so
I'm trying to work it out frantically as well. Let's have a look.
3 points for TTG, and Bjorn picking up 22, 15 for so that's 28, 43, 28. 15 point gain.
9 points. 9 points.
That was not 9 points.
It is, isn't it? It's 24 points coming into tonight.
No, it was 44.
44? Oh my god, yeah. You can tell I didn't pass maths. Patuxai wins though. Bjorn in second, Stefan third, Ares in fourth. Elliot drove really well in fifth. Enzo in sixth. What could have it been for him? Jeroen, Javier, Noah, rotation top 10. Nelson, Tim, Castro, Charles, Stinson. Belandia couldn't get the rest in the end. Ahmed was down there along with Black Panther. But yeah, 43 points and 15 to... How many is that?
Is 29 points.
29.
Between them, as it currently stands.
Can we just leave it at 9 points instead? Can that happen?
No.
Just whet up the appetite a bit further? No?
No. You can't cheat math.
We can cheat with Kermit though. Kermit could just maybe take standings and put them to 9 points. I don't know. But yeah, brilliant racing out on track once again. Portsmouth always delivers. We finally got underway, and big thank you, of course, to everyone that tuned in for that race as well. But Mike, obviously, we're probably going to end it off here, but just before we do, who is your driver of the day?
I am going to go with... I'm actually going to go with Elliot.
Yeah. I agree. I was going to go with Elliot, and I think, yeah, the Frenchman drove a really good race. 5th position, debut, RAC. I think they've signed up for Season 3, obviously, for EML. Have I just maybe teased that Season 3 of EML is coming? Yes, I have. And yeah, RAC drove a really, really good race there with Elliot, and I think definitely he gets driver of the day vote from us, certainly. And second L V19 in the comment section saying, strong race from Elliot, a pure talent is his words. One of the RAC fans there, of course. I think V19 is actually part of the RAC team there, so good to see from an insider's point of view how Elliot is coped with within the team, which is really good. Of course, more action to come in terms of League Racing TV, of course. On TTML, on League Racing TV tomorrow night. Mike, you're back tomorrow, F3. What can the viewers look forward to for F3?
Well, I mean, for tomorrow we go racing in Suzuka, one of the most demanding tracks on the calendar, my personal favourite track, so I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone copes with it, so make sure you tune in for that.
If anybody now comes out in the comment section and say Suzuka is their favourite track, I'm going to hunt you down. Because Suzuka is not my favourite track at all to commentate on, that's for sure. Don't know how the F2 guys are going to cope with it though, but if you do want to watch, of course, F2 as well, that is going to be on Twitch, on the Masters League channel on Twitch, _Masters, _League, if you do want to have a look at the Twitch there. That's where we would have been streaming, of course, tonight, if EML F1 obviously didn't overrun as a result. Brilliant racing though here. More action to come throughout the weekend as well. F4 of course is going to be live on Twitch as well on Friday. Perari and Buck taking you through that one. It should be me and Storm taking you through the action as well for F2. And then the big finale. Hopefully more viewers as well. Twitch viewers if you're watching. Yes, that's you. TTML F1 of course is going to be live and exclusive on Sunday night, and it is going to be myself and Pepsi Freak taking you through the action. However, I believe, is it Miami this weekend or is it next week?
Not sure.
I'll check, because I think we were going to potentially change the timing slightly for whenever the Miami Grand Prix is. Let me have a look. Is it next week, I think? I don't know. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's next week. It's next week. So you can ignore me. You can tune in on Sunday, normal time, 7 PM UK time, for the racing, of course, in TTML F1. That rounds us off really neatly for tonight. Really hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're new. And we're going to be, of course, ending off the stream here. So big thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.